What's up, y'all? My name is Holt Ingalls, owner of HI Productions, and today I'm going to show you my settings for the GoPro Hero 8 paired with an FPV drone. Alright guys, ignore the cracked screen. I've been using this pretty roughly, as you can see. Turn your GoPro on, you'll see this screen. So what I usually do is I make sure that my lock screen's on, because when I'm flying, I don't want to accidentally mess any settings up. So go down here, a cinematic. I have it on cinematic, but whatever you have it at. Usually I change mine to cinematic, so 4K, 60 frames per second. If your computer isn't as powerful, if you don't have like a very powerful computer, I wouldn't worry about using cinematic. I'd use something like 2.7 or standard. But go in here, click that little pencil button, then you'll see all the settings. So you can see that I'm shooting at 4K, 60 frames per second, wide, hyper smooth off. The reason I have hyper smooth off is because I use Reelsteady. And Reelsteady makes the shots look very, very smooth. I recommend getting Reelsteady. I shoot at a high bit rate and 120 shutter speed because, again, you want to have, I have a video about this, but you want to follow the 180-degree rule. And if you're shooting at 60 frames per second, you want to make sure your shutter speed's at 120. I usually have my white balance around 6,000 to 6,500, depending on if it's cloudy or if it's sunny. If it's sunny, I usually have it at 6,000. If it's cloudy, I usually have it like 6,300. I try to keep my ISO very low because I don't want to. I keep it usually the same because I use ND filters, but I'm shooting early in the morning or late at night. So I have my ISO as low as I can get it. And the reason for that is usually it's too bright. If you're gonna keep your shutter speed the same and you don't want to have auto shutter speed, you want your ISO to be as low as possible. It's hard for me to explain to those that don't really understand filming, but I don't usually change this unless it's too dark. I'll turn the ISO up. I don't ever change it past 100 usually because I use ND filters, sharpness, medium, and the color, flat, win auto, raw audio, high. That way it'll process the audio better that way. I don't want to have my sharpness too sharp, if that makes sense. Just having all these settings isn't quite enough. You're going to want to pair all these settings according to the ND filter you're going to want to use. And if you don't know how to use ND filters and you don't know what ND filters to use and why to use them, click the video that's going to be in the corner up here somewhere and I'll show you how to do that. But if you know how to use all that, keep watching and I'm going to show you the footage you're able to get with these settings.
Oh, and you only want for me. Oh, and you wanted more from me. But my mind was slow. But my mind was low.